out of that pit lane, so it can really make it tricky to kind of merge back into traffic. We'll see if we see any sorts of chaos or accidents caused from that tonight that might force drivers to maybe not have to take another pit stop, but lose a lot of speed on that pit exit.
Of course, teams are made up of 2 or 3 drivers, so we will have to see how they navigate that as well. So pit strategy going key to being the overall victor here at Wild West Motorsports Park. So just a few seconds away from all the action right here live on iRacing, and I couldn't be more excited. Sky, any early predictions as we get ready here?
I think we might see some teams opt for a strategy where one driver just does the first half, one driver does the second half. Minimize the pit strategy as much as you can here. Minimize the time you spend changing drivers in the pit box and just get it back out on the track as quickly as possible. Because with no damage, you're really just going to be running full bore for all 100 minutes.
Well, the grid order is going to start off with the Pro 4 trucks, then the Pro 2 truck, the Subarus, and the Beetles. So right away, we're going to have immediate chaos. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The 5th annual Sierra Nevada 100 live from Wild West Motorsport Park. So here is the lineup. Connor Berry and Austin Schibber will be your front row in the Pro 4 trucks. In row number 2, Chase Balding and Christian Noble. Row number 3, Justin Cunningham and Noah Benson make up 5th and 6th. In the 7th and 8th spot, Maya Rose and Wesley Worley. 5th row, Jared Cockrum and Joshua. I'm not even going to try that. My apologies. Timmy Moench and Chandler Bloxham.
Going back from there in the Pro 2 class tonight, you've got Zach Amspasher for the Bennett to Win It truck next to Ray Bodone for Ascension Racing. Nate Stewart in the 294 Yes2Motorsport red car will go from 3rd. Derek Cowling of Team Derek Cowling will go from 4th, and your last car in that Pro 2 will be the 905 of Dave Pearson from Team Dave Pearson.
On to the Subarus now. Evan McFarlane will start on the pole with Cameron Pedersen in number 2. Row 2 will be Chris Leon and Zach Bland. Row number 3, Francisco Garamuza and Russell Peterson in the 5th and 6th spot. And in 7th, it will be Trevor Teal in the Channel 199 Unhaver.
And finally, in the VW Beetles, we've got Kieran Lifflander in the 567 on pole for Car. Next to the Josh Mertz for JC Simsport in the 2. You got Brian Sawyer in the 535, Kevin Garcia in the 505 as we're going green here right now on the racetrack. Yellow Vision 570 for Jacob Bradley. Next to Crime Pays But Sim Racing Doesn't's entry of Chris Lunan. And then TWR's Vortex 26, Eric Dubois in the 000 next to Yes2Motorsport's Teal Ryder Poe. We've already had a little bit of chaos down there in the turn 1. We have a massive stack up. We've already got trucks flipped over up there on the top of turn 1, but the survivors are heading their way down the racetrack, and you can see everyone fanning out all over the racetrack through these first few corners. Already some cars have had to tow just because they couldn't get that car flipped back over, as it is a mad scramble back up the field here.
Well, right now you can see the Subarus off to a great start. Cameron Peterson now out in front with the overall lead over everybody in the field right here. And that includes the Pro 4 trucks with the leader of Austin Schibber. And everybody just trying to navigate their way through. A little bit of contact there with the 47 truck and a Subaru WRX STI. Now everybody's trying to just navigate their way through. This is the point of the race. You cannot lose it this early. It's 100 minutes, of course, here at Wild West Motorsport Park for the Sierra Nevada 100. Now 3 wide as they come through turn number 3, 2 Pro 4 trucks and a Subaru trying to just survive through what is a kind of a narrower turn number 3, especially with how many cars are on the racetrack.
Yeah, and if you are one of those drivers who maybe flips over, has to take that tow early, you're not completely out of it, but you are going to have a lot of work to do over the next 100 minutes if you really want to get yourself back up in this one. As you see these trucks battle right now, this is the Pro 4 truck class. Chase Spalding and Justin Cunningham doing battle for the 3rd place in this one, as we've got battles really going all over the racetrack here. Cunningham in that 47 truck is going to take some contact from a Beetle down there on the inside, and they're all going to get a little bit up on each other's nose. That's one green Beetle around. That is the Yes2 Motorsport Mint car being driven by Chris Leone. That's the 40 there, and it's going to take a while to get that car turned back around. He's got 221 of Benson Motorsports there for second, driven by Noah Benson, and then back up the field. We got some of these cars in the truck class. It's really all going down right now. I mean, you've got cars basically all over the place, just trying to survive more than anything right now, taking their laps around this racetrack. And if I am one of those Beetles, I am absolutely terrified of the potential of one of these trucks just landing on top of me, as Trevor Teal in the 21 right here tries to dice his way back up through the field.
Well, right now, the Subaru WRX STI is out in front for the overall lead. It's Cam Peterson in the number 48 machine. Just see some of these other Subarus having to deal with some of these other trucks around them, but you know, as we've mentioned before, that these Subarus, they got a lot faster, especially down a straightaway and a little bit in the corners. As who was that? That was the Benson 221 truck going a little bit sideways, gets back on all fours, down the front straightaway they go. You can just see everybody just calm, cool, and relaxed a little bit, I would say, at this point. And all eyes up front. Austin Schieber, the current leader of the Pro 4 truck. 221 machine on our screens there. Again, that is Benson Motorsports. Noah Benson behind the wheel of that one, trying to chase down the Ascension Racing 47 of Justin Cunningham, getting right to that back bumper, but just can't find enough momentum to make a pass happen here so far. And that's one of the things about Wild West Motorsports Park. It's a lot of just momentum-based racing here. You lose a little bit of momentum, it's going to take a little bit to get that back.
Yeah, this track really is momentum-based. It really is based on kind of these bumps all around the racetrack. That's going to play a major role in how the ending of this race ultimately is able to shake out here, as Connor Berry has just gotten around that car of Austin Schieber. That's for the Pro 4 truck lead at the moment. He's taken over right there in P4 overall. Your top three in the Subaru class are ahead of all of those Pro 4 trucks. That's Cameron Peterson, Evan McFarlane, and Zach Blanche. Your top couple right now, and it's a big wall of Pro 4 separated only by Trevor Teal in that 21, who you've seen him a couple times. He's trying to dice his way all the way back through the field.
Well, that's the Lapdogs number 59 driving in the Pro 2 truck. Currently sitting. Lapdogs are looking over. We got so many teams here. It's a record-breaking attendance here tonight, Guy, which is absolutely amazing to see. And of course, we're already seeing drivers already heading into the pits. Team Rick with Francisco Scaramuza into the pits, along with Yes2 Motorsport Blue, Russell Peterson, driving the Subaru WRX. So that's our second place runner right now of Austin Schieber in the Pro 4 truck. Number 59 car, just enjoying himself. He's got quite a big significant gap over the class right now. So
we're working on getting that ticker up for you. We're 6 minutes into this one right now, and the results are mostly correct. Evan McFarlane's gotten that second spot away in the WRX class from Zach Blanchard. Everybody else mostly running in similar position. Connor Berry's also gotten ahead of Austin Schieber. He is currently leading that Pro 4 truck class. It is Kieran Liftlander in the 567 still out in front of that VW Beetle class, and then back in the Pro 2 trucks, it's Derek Cowling in the 27 out in front of that one for Team Derek Cowling at the moment, as we are only about 6.5 minutes through this one at the moment. Austin Schieber in the 59, you're watching him right here as he continues to make his way around the racetrack, making it down this turn two. He's going to have to navigate some of these cars coming out of the pits here very shortly. Drivers who have already had maybe to tow here after going off track, or maybe have just opted to take a very early driver change and are coming back out of the pits back onto the racetrack here, as Shiver continues to try to gain ground on Connor Berry, that Ford truck who's sitting one spot in front of him, but he hasn't quite been able to pull it off to make it happen yet. Cameron Peterson, Evan McFarland, Zach Blanche still running 1, 2, and 3 up in your WRX class, and Shiver pretty close there to the back bumper of Berry, but Berry got the better run out of that final hairpin, and he's able to pull away as we head on through this long, bumpy front stretch.
Looking at some lap times here, of course, the best lap time coming from Cameron Peterson with a 47.8. But Evan McFarland just 0.2 quicker right now, a 47.627. So some quick, fat lap times happening around here as we take a look. The 120 McFarland. So, keeping an eye on everything. What's really nice about how this racetrack shaped up, well, guess what? Everything got reset down to 0, so it wasn't kind of a one-in racetrack. But it's going to be kind of interesting to see how throughout this 100-minute race, how the track evolves. This is a dirt track, so some rubber is going to get laid in. It might get a little greasy in the corners, which could add some more excitement about halfway through this.
And some of these trucks are up in the body. Oh, we just had a big crash. Chris Loonan, the 555, had a big moment there with the 29 of Ryder Poe, as both of these cars are trying to get around some trucks. Obviously no damage, so both of those cars are able to get back going, and they are both very fortunate there was no damage as they both crashed into the hairpin wall, that like big concrete wall block right at the entry of turn 2. It was a pretty nasty accident that stacked up quite a few cars, but they were all eventually able to get it turned around and back moving as we continue on here in this race. Your top 3 at the moment still Peterson. Oh, Wesley Worley has just had a big moment. That car already in last 3 laps down, and its race is just getting worse after a huge smack to turn 1. Cameron Peterson dominating. 2.5 seconds clear, now 2.8 seconds clear over Evan McFarland up in the front of your field. Zach Blanche in the 123 still sits in third as he got that ticker up right now for you. Austin Shiver in the Lapdogs car has just gotten around Connor Berry with a massive dive through turn 3. Austin Shiver will take that spot, and it is a couple cars maybe a little worse for wear there. Connor Berry dropped back to second in class as Austin Shiver took the spot away, but I don't think Berry is going to be particularly happy about the way that Shiver took that spot away for the lead of the Pro 4 class, so might see some aggressive racing here out of that 4 car now, especially with no damage, to try and get back around him.
There it is now. It's Shiver, your Pro 4 Trucks leader with Connor Berry in tow. But keep an eye out as we head down into turn number 2 here. Would imagine Berry took a peek on the inside. Shiver slams the door shut, and it's going to be pretty difficult to pass as they go through turn number 3. And I would watch out for Connor Berry here as we go down to what is considered the back straightaway and see if he can make a move. But Shiver, great run off of turn number 3, gets the car settled nice and easy into turn 4. And Shiver getting a little bit of help here. He's going to use this lap car to his advantage here for Connor Berry not to be able to make a move as we head back into turn number 1 here. Austin Shiver doing everything he can to stay out in front in the Pro 4 trucks, but Connor Berry getting a little bit closer as we head down the hill into the hairpin. And Shiver gets a little bit wide. This is an opportunity. He turns over to try and cut off Connor Berry. Doesn't quite get there. And Connor Berry is not deterred here as we go on board with the number 4 car of Connor Berry down the back straightaway. Gets the bumps and jumps these guys are having to navigate through the back straightaway. Connor Berry, his nose on the inside, doesn't want to cause a collision here, as obviously that didn't go quite to plan last time when Shiver got around him. So those cars settle in, and Shiver gets a little bit wide this time. Can Connor Berry get back on the loud pedal? Yes, and he retakes the lead in the Pro 4 trucks, but Shiver is right there.
Yeah, they're going to go side by side now. It's Berry getting way sideways, almost used that car as a bit of a block there to keep his lead. Connor Berry knows how to get it done. His iRacing short course is the lead sponsor of the race, and he's also a two-time iRacing off-road world champion. And he won the Pro 4 class in the inaugural edition of this race back in 2022. So if there's anyone in this field that's going to know how to get it done tonight, it is that 4 of Connor Berry, now back out in front of that Pro 4 class, running some great laps to try and get back ahead of Schreiber. We know, though, from prior experience that 59 is willing to make some big moves to try and take that lead away. And if he's able to get back up to the bumper of the 4, I would not be surprised if he does it all over again and sends one down to the inside of the 59 of Austin Schreiber. As we look a little bit through the other classes here, everybody else is pretty much single filed up here for the leads of most classes. As you check on this car a little further back in the field, you got that teal number 40 car. That is the Yes2Motorsport's mint machine, currently running towards the front of that Subaru WRX class in 5th. Is going to have to make its way through a lot of Pro 4s if it wants to get up and compete with the top 3 cars in this race, who are all in that WRX class. But it'll be a bit of a tall order racing around some of these trucks in front of him that are racing for position, like Justin Cunningham, like Chandler Bloxham, who are in those giant Pro 4 trucks and are maybe not going to be willing to let Chris Leone in that little VW or in that little WRX Subaru past that car. Yes2Motorsport is Chris's iRacing league, and it's also his personal brand away from his day job as the iRacing marketing and communications manager in that 40 car. And he's trying to get himself back up into the top 3 in that class right now with a big hit to the ground.
And we'll be talking with Chris later on in our broadcast, as well as some other drivers. And we'll have some time to fill here on the broadcast. Now, sitting 5th in the Volkswagen Bug says now there's a big collision going into turn number 2. Cars going everywhere. And Cameron Pedersen into the pits, our leader in the Subaru WRX class. On the screen now, Trevor Teal, who will bump himself into 3rd place in the WRX class. So, a little bit of calamity happening there in turn number 2. Some trucks getting a little bit sideways and turned around, but now that has cleared up. One of the best parts is no damage, so everybody's going to be able to just go right back to the pits and get involved in this one, as now the 28 machine head back out to the racetrack here. That is the 47 on your screen on the bottom half there, and we're also keeping an eye on what's happening here. So, looking around the 1, 2, 3 machine of Zach Bland is your race leader, and Trevor Teal now into the pits as well. This is a scheduled pit stop here at Wild West Motorsport Park. There is a Pro 2 truck on your screen. That's Derek Cowling. Yeah, everyone's starting to come in. So good time to probably come in, maybe switch your drivers up or just get a fuel stop in.
These iRacing fuel tanks are not particularly designed for a 100-minute enduro team race, so we're going to be seeing more pit stops than you might otherwise expect in a race of this length here around Wild West Motorsports Park, and we'll see if we see any driver changes. Connor Berry seems to be back out there all by himself, continuing to make some moves up in that 4 cars. Austin Schreiber will stay in that 59. He'll go out back in 3rd in that class, and he might actually be able to beat him. Berry out here. Let's see what he's able to do. He's right on the tail of that car. 59 car up the inside. Austin Schreiber with a great move out of the pits, and he's able to get that lead back on exit over Connor Berry. You come out of the pits in a really awkward spot. Berry is going to do everything he can to try and fight back against that 59 car, but right now it does not look like it's working out. And Austin Schreiber, for now in the 59 truck, will have that lead over the 4 of Connor Berry, putting on a show up to the front of this Pro 4 race at the moment.
You can see on the bottom half of your screen another a battle going on here as well, and you can see, is that who I think it is? Is that Connor Berry? He's smiling. He's having a good time here. He is having a great time as we see a big collision with the Beetle here. And he is just having a great time with that. He just totally wiped out. I couldn't tell who the number was, but he just wiped out a Volkswagen Beetle there. He enjoyed all of it.
I mean, it's just fun. Wild West is just a fun racetrack, and I think a lot of these drivers, even if they're maybe not having the night that they would want up to this point, are certainly having a lot of fun with it as Schreiber is continuing to lead that class. It is a pretty big gap for the lead of the WRX class at the moment as we see a log jam back here. It's a 221 Benson Motorsports car of Noah Benson, a little bit deeper in the field, running in 4th in that Pro 4 truck class, as he is to the outside now behind the 46 of Chase Spalding. That would be for 3rd in the Pro 4 class at the moment. They've got a Beetle who is not committed to the pits yet in between them. That is the JC Sim Sport car of Josh Mertz, who is just ahead on the road of these cars who are racing up here in the Pro 4 truck class at the moment.
Well, to recap what is happening, Peterson is your overall race leader in the Subaru WRX STI with Zach Blunt and Evan McFarland, Trevor Teal. That's your top 4. Then we get into the Pro 4 truck. On the overall standings, that is Austin Schreiber right now in 5th place overall, but leading the Pro 4 trucks with Connor Berry and there's a little bit of a collision there with Noah Benson. And Noah Benson, he's trying to get around now 2 Volkswagen Beetles, and they're going to turn each other into the wall. They're number 2. And Noah Benson, he's thanking his lucky stars on that one that he missed all of that, and we are missing the calamity into turn number 2. Zach Blanche got involved in some sort of altercation heading into turn number 2. Got that car pointed back forward here, but it's all starting to kick off here. But now he will lose the position to Evan McFarland, who now leads 2nd spot.
That was Kieran Lifflander in the 567, one of those VW Beetle cars who were involved in that moment and kind of got spun around back there. We saw it live on the broadcast. Kieran took part in the Rally X Americas test in Charlotte last week, where he turned his first lap in real-world rallycross cars and supercars, and he was coached in the latter by Mitchell DeJong. So he knows what he's doing in those VW Beetles, and hopefully he can have a little bit of a better run here and get himself up to that class leader of Josh Mertz, who is continuing to hold strong in that 2 car.
Well, Zach Blanche on your screen now has a Pro 2 truck in front of him, and get around that lap car. We'll get it done, but now has a little bit of a task here to chase down Evan McFarlane, as now Connor Berry has still battling with Austin Schreiber right now in the Pro 4 truck. Right now, all the other classes, it looks like in the Pro 2 trucks, there's a battle for the race lead as well. But the Volkswagen Beetles, I think they're just in this field to just create a little bit of chaos. Sky, when you
They're just having fun. They're just having fun out here. This is that top Pro 2 truck right now. Bennett to win it. Zach Amspacher behind the wheel of that 121st overall, 22nd. Guys, the car not far behind him, but there are a couple more of these Beetles and these Subarus who are kind of in between any potential move for the lead of that class. And in fact, I think might have seen a moment there potentially for Justin Cunningham, Derek Cowling, who's currently sitting 2nd in that class in the 27. Gone a little bit farther back, sitting in E2 of this class at the moment. It's a pretty decent gap, actually, all things considered, from Bennett to win it to Team Derek Cowling back there. You're not going to see these 2 cars extra close on the racetrack because you've got a couple Pro 4 cars in between Cowling and that car up in front of him. As you're going to see a pit stop here from Russell Peterson in that 102. And Bennett to win it will continue to make their way around the racetrack. And, I mean, they haven't binned it so far, and they are winning it. So I think their name only really holds true if they do end up binning it at some point before this race comes to an end. Austin Schreiber looks like he might be getting closer up. Oh, we got a car up on the wall there. Yeah, there you go. You're going to see that cause a big pile up. That car was up on top of the wall. That was Wesley Worley, the 34 Orlando Outlaws car. He's got in a really awkward position, was trapped on top of that wall, couldn't get it out. Now you're seeing Zach Blanche in third go slipping and sliding all the way down here as more wrecking going on as we head down through this hairpin. Looks like that was Chris Lunan involved Brian Sawyer, and Wesley Worley has managed to do the exact same maneuver one corner later and get himself stuck up onto that concrete barrier. He's now reversing it. This is a very dangerous position to be in if you're Wesley Worley. I think you might just have to bite the bullet. Oh, he's going to get it out. There you go. He doesn't take anyone with him. Well, now he's going to take somebody with him. All right. Wesley Worley is having a very bad time. He's 6 laps down.
Well, I think the plan was to maybe have someone maybe smack him on the rear of the truck to get him back going again. But here's, oh no, that is just unfortunate. I hate it when you do that. I've done that before, and it's just helpless. You're just sitting there like, what do I do to get out of this? Well, Wesley Worley figured out a way to get himself unstuck as we are looking at a replay of him. Oh, just unfortunate. Cause pile up there in the hairpin in turn number 2, and luckily gets back straight again. And oh, excuse me, that was turn 1. And so Wesley Worley's he's having a heck of a time here, just getting that car back going again, sitting P12 in class. So the Orlando Outlaw Esports team has a little bit of work to do. Get their night back going forward again. What's very interesting about this is, of course, it's off-road. It's multi-class off-road, no damage, so everybody's going to be able to at least survive. There's terminal damage that can really take you out of this one. So there is no excuse to not make all 100 minutes of this one, as we have some side-by-side racing. Kristen Noble battling here for the P4 spot in the Pro 2s, I want to say. Sure I'm looking at that right. So, but everybody just going around here. And it's quite the battle here. You're seeing it go into turn number 3. These guys are not letting up. Excuse me, this is the Pro 4 truck. So this is for P4, P8 overall. Noah Benson right there trying to track along as they go down the back straightaway. Getting a little bit wide there for Christian Noble, opening up the inside, but gets a good run out of turn 4. Gets over those bumps and jumps up the hill into turn number 1. Benson took a peek down the inside. Couldn't find the momentum on that inside line, but gets alongside as we go down the hill. Question is, who is going to get to the apex first? Oh, a little bit of bumping happening there with Benson trying to move Christian Noble out of the way, but that's why you got to love these Pro 4 trucks. You can rub and bump and still have a good time.
Yeah, we've had a lot of contact pretty much all throughout the race here as Christian Noble in that 946 car for Boozy Racing continues to make his way around the racetrack doing battle with Noah T. Benson in the Benson Motorsports car. A lot of drivers in this race who are just trying to take it, I would say, somewhat easy in the early stretch, as easy as you can in a 100-minute long race around Wild West. But I think as we see the time start to count down, we're going to see the desperation of the moves increase. We're going to see some drivers really going forward in the later parts of these races in order to try to get themselves some positions. By the time we get down to the end of this one, as you're already seeing some battles going on right now with that 946 car trying to slide up the inside of Nate Stewart, who is multiple laps down in that Yes2Motorsport's red. Noah Benson will follow him through and try to set up a run to the inside of Christian Noble, but he backs out, opts to avoid the contact there, and the 946 Boozy Racing car will stay ahead for now. We got a big pile up down here in turn 1 that could affect these cars. We've got Russell Peterson around in the middle of the racetrack for Yes2Motorsport Blue, still having a moment. He's finally gotten that car turned back around right before the leaders were set to catch him. And once again, we've got a battle for the Pro 4 lead there as Connor Berry's up to Austin Schreiber. And you're watching Russell Peterson recovering from that accident as Benson and Noble try to fight just ahead of him.
Well, things are still kicking off, even though We have been in this race some time now, and that's why you gotta love this type of race here. But let's take a look at what happened on the race start. We have some plays here to show you. And here it is. Look at all the chaos happening there. 1, 2, 3. There's a rollover. 2 cars rolling over. Beetles everywhere. Cars everywhere. And oh my. Kicking off here on the race start. Of course, everybody slowly navigating their way through. They saw the incoming doom and ended up just getting off the throttle as, oh man, that's not a good good way to start off your race. Upside down through turn.
He was hoping someone would write him up there with a little bit of contact. Hey, there it goes. Took him maybe longer than he would have wanted, but he finally got that car back on all 4 wheels. I mean, we had a couple big moments at the start of this race. We saw cars 2-wheeling it, 1-wheeling it, no wheeling it, roofing it around here. I mean, if there was a part of your car that could touch the racetrack, it was touching the racetrack on race start here.
Yes, and you could see some guys that they were just on the brakes. They were just like, how do I navigate? GPS is not helping me here.
I think that Beetle just got eaten.
Oh, I have no words at this point of what that race start actually looked like here as, we got 3 wide going through turn 1, and Connor Berry is going to be the beneficiary of that one as he will take the class lead over
Austin Scheiber's just got it back.
Oh man, these guys are fighting for this Pro 4 truck win here, as now, guess what? We have another pit cycle about to begin. Emily McFarland into the pits in the Subaru WRX class. But the battle on your screen, Austin Scheiber and Connor Berry, and they make contact through turn 4. And Connor Berry, he is not letting this go lightly, as they are all having to navigate through lap traffic and everything. Scheiber getting that car settled down, has a Beetle on his outside. Connor Berry trying to take it down the inside. They're going to be side by side, a little bit of contact going down the hill into the hairpin. Can Scheiber find a way to navigate through? Last time he was able to make the move. Here's Connor Berry down the inside, gets back on the loud pedal. They're drag racing into turn number 3, but Scheiber slams the door, does not allow Connor Berry through at all, and Austin Scheiber just holding on to the race lead here in class by the hair on his chinny chin. And again, a little bit of contact. Connor Berry body slams Scheiber out of the way. Says, I am wanting to lead this race, but you are not making it easy for me, sir.
Yeah, that 4 truck right there at Connor Berry, we're going to have 2 different drivers in that truck over the course of this race. The catch is they're both on the same sim, so while we do have a no solo driver rule, Connor Berry in that 4 is going to get away with it because they've got multiple drivers running on the same rig together in real life. And right now, Connor Berry is trying to get that car down to the inside of Austin Scheiber in the 59, still dooring the bumper of that car. This is a very fast battle right now. We've had these 2 going at it for, I think, all 30 laps of this race so far, pretty much. It has been domination. They're not leading the overall class. That is Cameron Peterson in the 48, who's been putting on a show back in that WRX. But Scheiber and Berry are the class of the Pro 4 truck field right now. They pulled out a several-second gap back to Chase Spalding, and they are just going after it, battle after battle. No matter what kind of lap traffic gets in the way, they're going to find each other, and they are going to duke it out.
And these guys, they're having a good time here. I imagine Connor Berry still has that big old smile on his face that we saw earlier as Connor Berry trying to go for the race lead again. Scheiber's using some of these lines to his advantage here, you know, from going on the outside in some corners to the inside and certain others, like obviously in the hairpin corner, using that outside line, getting the momentum through the corner to maintain the race lead. Connor Berry this time is not going to get to Scheiber and body slam him out of the way. So they come around the front straightaway here. There is no lap traffic directly in front of them, which they're probably breathing a little bit of sigh of relief as they had to navigate through some very heavy traffic. Now there's a drag race down to the hairpin. Austin Scheiber getting a little bit more speed into the corner here, but Connor Berry slowing that truck down, getting around the hairpin, but doesn't get the drive off that he needed to get the race lead. As these guys are battling, you got to keep an eye on Chase Spalding. He's going to probably be looking and taking advantage of a potential collision in the future in this one. We still have an hour and 7 minutes to go in this one, Sky, and I feel like for the next hour and 7 minutes, these guys could be battling like crazy, or it's going to end here.
Yeah, luckily there is no damage, so if these two have a moment like they nearly did right there, they'll be able to keep right on going. Scheiber a little bit wider than he would have wanted there, and Connor Berry was able to get right back to the point and get that car back ahead of the 59 cars. We're going to have a wrecked car nearly ruin this battle, but Scheiber will switch it right back up, and he'll go right back around to the lead as Berry was held up by that lap car. Now they're moving around a Beetle. It's just non-stop lap traffic here for these Pro 4 trucks, and they're doing a great job to stay together and continue to do battle despite it. It's Eric Dubois in the VW Beetle Light, right back behind him, Eric Dubois, in that 000. And it is Berry beating down the back door there. He has been for so long. It's just been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the lead of this Pro 4 truck class. Turn 1 is one of the major spots where we've seen moves get done. Berry ramps that inside wall there and has to come up and hit Scheiber, but he manages to make it out without too much of a hassle. I'll drop him back, maybe the farthest he's been in a hot minute, though, and he's going to have to make a send or recover. He'll opt to make a send. Still can't get at the stick, but you're seeing Connor Berry getting a little bit aggressive in that car, as you can when you have no damage. I do want to give a shout out real quick as we continue to watch this battle to Cameron Peterson. He has been just the dominant car all race in that 48 Subaru WRX, leading the race by about a dozen seconds here. Cam Peterson is a race winner in the iRacing Off-Road World Championship, and he won the inaugural Jim Beaver Esports E-Short Course World Cup against drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ron Capps, and Greg Biffle. He's undefeated in his class in this event and has won overall in both the Beetle Light and the Subaru with his teammate Josh Edmondson, who we will see get in that car probably pretty shortly here, as we're almost halfway through the race already. And you see up on that top side of the screen, Connor Berry making some more contact with Austin Scheiber, trying to force this move into place.
Pro 4 truck class, very competitive, very difficult to win this class, I feel like, tonight. And you could be like Cameron Peterson right now, who is having a very chill, relaxing Sunday drive, up over 12 seconds over Evan McFarland, who did pit earlier. And I would say we got to be getting close to the pit cycle here, Sky, and we're probably going to see a lot more driver swaps in the second cycle coming up here, I would just say, in probably the next few moments.
Yeah, we definitely will, as we are on 35 minutes into this one. We have an equal timeshare rule tonight, so both you and your co-driver, or your two co-drivers, if you have 3 in the car tonight, need to run an equal amount of time. So if you're going to split this race up into 50 and 50 minutes per, you should see pit stops within the next 15 minutes for a lot of those cars. As see right here, Connor Berry still defending this lead in the Pro 4 truck class. There's plenty happening all over the racetrack. It's just so hard to take our eyes away from this battle that has been brewing for a long while now. We are getting close for the lead of the VW Beetle class. In the JC SimSport car, it's Devin Hughes leading that one. They have made a driver change behind the wheel of that 2 cars. It was Josh Mertz in for a lot of this one. Devin Hughes is behind the wheel of that right now, barely holding on ahead of Indy Kirchenbauer, who has stepped into the 567. And here comes the Connor Berry pit stop. They're going to do this one in real life if we're able to get a camera on it. He's already got that car trying to get it back out onto the racetrack here. Chase Spalding will also be in the pits. There you go. Connor Berry is out of the car. We're going to have Drake Middag getting behind the wheel of that one. Knock the camera out of place in the process, but they're going to get that driver change done. Middag will get in there. He'll check the headset. He'll make sure everything's going well. And look at some fuel on it and get that car back out on the racetrack. They did knock the camera up, but we got a little bit of it there.
Darn, I was hoping we could see more big smiles in this one, but there you go. The driver swap for the number 4 Grid 1 team, and now they fixed it up. They will be underway here shortly after some tires and some fuel, and you can see big smiles already all around for that number 4 team. So Connor Berry making that swap very, very efficient, but there's still there must be some fuel going in the truck, and there he goes. They are back underway here, and got to make if that's one way you make efficient pit stops and don't have to wait for the mandatory 30-second driver swap that iRacing makes you do. I guess this is a good way of doing that.
That is Drake Midag now behind the wheel of that Ford truck. So it'll say the name of Connor Berry, at least for now on the ticker, but Drake Midag is the second driver now driving that 4, as Austin Scheiber will make the pit stop now in that 59 car, and that should even these two out, and I doubt it'll be too much longer before we're able to see that battle resume, as we're going to see Josh Mertz get back in that 2 car in the VW Beetle. Indy Kirchenbauer has taken back over in the lead of that class. Josh Mertz, by the way, the founder of NASA Rallycross, one of the leagues eligible for the Cup of Leagues here on iRacing. So he's got a lot of experience on dirt. That whole 2 team does, and they've been running very well so far in this race. As you're going to watch.
See a Volkswagen Beetle just stuck up on the fence.
I think you might have. I think you very well might have. That is Joseph Pasucci in the 505 Spin Diesel. He's going to need to tow that one because that thing is certifiably stuck on the fence down in that corner.
Well, I guess you just never know what you're going to see here.
And he has towed it.
Okay, he has towed. Good. Well, I guess if you haven't seen it all, you're about to see it all here at Wow Motorsport Park, and that is one of the things that I was not expecting a Volkswagen Beetle stuck up on the fence in turn 4. All eyes right now. We are looking at the number 8 machine in the Pro 4 truck. It'll get a little bit loosey-goosey there, but gets down on the throttle. There's a pit stop replay here of the actual car that was stuck of Joseph Masucci. Heads back onto the racetrack. Well,
it was going wrong for moment number 1 there.
Yep. Now he waits. Good thinking. Waiting for the truck to pass him, and okay, trying to get that.
Yeah. He's having a bad time.
He's having a bad time of it. Actually, no, he's having a good time. All right, he's having a fun time around Wild West Motorsport Park.
It is a battle for the lead, by the way, back on that live team. It's Chase Spalding for Golgotha Esports in the 46, 1 spot ahead of Jimmy Monch in the 26 for Mink Motorsports. 2 drivers who are running pretty well right now, racing for 4th in that Pro 4 class, racing for 10th overall in this race, as Chase Spalding continuing to do a good job of holding that lead as Monch continues to try and track him down. And that real-life driver swap cost that 4 team a lot of time there, because Austin Scheiber did not make a driver swap. He stayed in that 59 Lapdogs car for another 1. So he's now about 22 seconds out in front of Connor Berry. Have to imagine that we will see that equalize once that 59 car does end up coming down. It does end up... Actually, I'm going to have to do some math here on the back of a napkin. Hold on. It's about 45 seconds here, because that 7-second interval is showing Connor Berry to the car in front of him, which is Indy Kirchenbauer, the VW Light. So it's a big gap between those 2 cars, but I expect when Scheiber does come down, does make that driver change, it'll even those 2 back out, and we won't be too far off from the battle that we had going not too long ago in this race as we continue to make our way around. I would like to give a bit of a shout out to the 169 of Team Rick. They have maybe not had the race that they would want. They're sitting last place in that Subaru WRX STI car, 28th out of 32 overall, but it is Cisco Scaramusa behind the wheel of that one, Cisco being a key part of the iRacing broadcast team. He's behind the wheel of that car with Keenan Kusin, who has been doing an uncapped streamathon for more than 150 days. If you would like him to go for more than 150 days, you can apparently donate to his live stream.
And speaking of donate, of course, tonight we here on Yes2Motorsport's VORTEX Van 100, presented by the iRacing Short Course. We are supporting the 43 Institute, a non-profit 501c, and you can support them by going to 43.org/donate. This is not an official event of theirs, but it is a cause and a charity that is being supported here tonight. So make sure you check them.
By the way, we do have word on what happened on the Connor Berry pit stop. It was actually a pedal malfunction that got them so far behind. The pedals fell off the rig, and they got a speeding penalty into the pits because they were unable to hit the brakes to enter their pit stall properly. So they were able to get the pedals back on, but that is why the drivers of that 4 car, Connor Berry and Drake Midak, have lost so much time, and they are going to have a tough road to recover. I was thinking 40 seconds was a bit long for a driver change. That would be why the pedals fell straight off the rig during that driver transfer, and that is a big break for Austin Scheiber in the 59, who is now well clear of that car he was doing battle with for a large chunk of this race. As we've got some battles trying to go here very shortly in this VW Beetle class. JC2Motorsports, Josh Mertz, is trying to make his way back up through the field right now, as he has dropped back to 4th after some driver changes, some pit stops, but there is a lot of speed in that 2 car, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get it back up the field here before the end of this one.
Well, things are slowly calming down as we are now approaching the 55-minute mark, only 5 minutes away from the halfway point of this 100-minute race, this multi-class off-road endurance race. I mean, I don't know how else you would describe it. The way that they gave us in our production note for this, it's the Virtual Off-Road Team Endurance Club. That's
or VORTEX.
What VORTEX stands for. So, but definitely exciting moments so far in this one. But now let's head to the Pro 2 truck leader here, as they are starting to approach on the Pro 4, according to the live time on our screen. And getting a little bit sideways there. Zach, you're going to have to help me with this one again, Sky. I heard you say it once.
Amspasher. I'm going with Amspasher for Zach. It seems that right. I'm sounding it out.
Amspasher. Thank you very much. So currently out in front in the Bennett to win it car, as he's only been it once so far in this one that we have actually been able to see, but still out in front in the Pro truck. Team Watson Racing in the lead in the WRX. That is Zach Blanche right now, with Cameron Peterson in second, 1 point. Actually now dropping down to just under 8/10, but that's how this goes. But Zach Blanche now leading the Subaru WRX class. In the Volkswagen Beetle class, it's Indy Kirchenbauer still out in front there. So doing a great job there. It's just car, that's their team name. So, and he will head into the pits here now. And of course in the Pro 4, it's Lapdogs with Austin Scheiber out in front there. So a recap of all the leaders in the class, in all the classes. There's Cameron Peterson now in P2. And that's just due to a pit stop, but now currently chasing down the WRX leader of Zach Blanche as they head down the front straight. Great onboard shot here. You can just see the bumps and the jumps happening there. Gets a little bit closer, gets a little bit squirrely, but ends up getting that car settled down. Close quarters racing, but no contact right there as we head into the hairpin. Tries to make the move on the outside, gets on the binders, crosses over, and there goes Peterson. Now he's trying to get the race lead, but Zach Blanche not moving an inch here, not allowing Cam Peterson to get through at all.
And this is the battle for the overall race lead here in this WRX class. Peterson has really been able to dominate today, and he's now going to stick a door to the side of that 123 of Zach Blanche. And Cameron Peterson in the 48 car will take the lead over. He's held the overall lead of this race for a long, long time tonight, and they'll be able to get it back here. Blanche not really able to have any sort of challenge for that 48 car, and Cameron Peterson will get right back clear as we head down the hill into turn 2. That 567 car machine will come out in front of the VW Beetle class. John Michael Dunnigan newly behind the wheel of that one. They are one spot ahead of Jacob Bradley in the Yellow Vision WG. I believe we're pretty close to getting Aaron Smith behind the wheel of that 570. I have called a couple leagues Aaron Smith has been in, and I think he is undoubtedly one of the fastest drivers I've ever seen on iRacing, no matter what car you get him in. So if he's able to get in that 570, which has actually just now pulled in the pits to get Aaron Smith in the car, he might have something for that 567 pretty shortly. Aaron's also doing a series on Instagram called Can It Rallycross, where he's taking 20 different cars on the Charlotte Rallycross track and seeing what lap times they turn on that yellow VSN. The most recent clip was the Dallara IR18, which seems like a car that would not rallycross, but you're going to have to check his Instagram to find out.
I just saw that video the other day, and yes, very interesting. Head on over to his channel there to check that video out as we take a look at Christian Noble here at Boozy 46. Lonely racing right now for him, but will be very interesting. Again, we are about to hit halfway point of this one, about 40 seconds time, and we want to thank all of you who have tuned in to watch here on iRacing. Of course, this is being produced by Maconi Entertainment. A big shout out to our producer tonight, Christian Hill, who is working pretty hard. I think he's probably working up a sweat behind the scenes, getting all the camera angles and everything else, and bringing to you, bringing all the action live to you as much as he can. But he is just one person. So, but our overall race leader still, Cameron Peterson, now out in front with Evan McFarland in P2. So things are going to get really interesting, I would say, as we are now hitting the halfway point here at Wild West Motorsport Park here at the Sierra Nevada 100. What are some of the strategy things you are thinking about here as we have 50 minutes of racing?
Well, I think you're going to see the driver changes for the cars who have not had a driver change yet. Some of those cars who have stayed out all race, maybe stayed with the same driver, and then we're going to have to bring it down here to satisfy the iRacing fair time rules on the car. Other than that, you really just want to run it as clean as possible here, because it's very possible for anyone in the field to have an accident on any given lap, and if you're running clean and green the whole time, you'll be able to pass those cars if they do have those accidents.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye out on that, of course. Again, you can get stuck on one of the concrete barriers, you could get flipped over, you could have a beetle just run into you or something, and that can definitely change the outcome of your race and how you do your pit strategies here at the Sierra Nevada 100. Looking at the 221 on your screen, that is the Benson Motorsports. Noah Benson behind the wheel of that one. So again, probably pit cycle's about to happen once again, especially for those guys who are running at least 3 people in their car. The guys who are running a 2-man team, not going to be as difficult to get that fair share in, I would say. 100 minutes, you just split it up 2 50-minute runs, and you'll be in that fair share there. So, and we'll be talking with some drivers here soon, I would think, as some driver swaps already happening here. It looks like the Yes2 Motorsport mid car, Mitchell DeYoung in that car. As some of you already know who Mitchell DeYoung is. Of course, Mitchell, one of the most accomplished drivers in iRacing esports history, with wins in series like the NASCAR Series, the Porsche Esports Super Cup, and iRacing Rallycross. He is also a multi-time off-road and rallycross champion in real life, and of course an X-Game medalist. So man has a list of accolades. We are very honored to have him here racing in the Sierra Nevada 100. So Mitchell Young already in that car, and he is currently sitting in P4 in class.
Yeah, and he'll try to move his way up through the field. I believe he's only stepped behind the wheel of that car pretty recently, so he definitely has some room to be able to get himself a little bit further up the field here. So, he's going to run into some problems as you've got a spun-out car just up the road there. It was Tommy Passamonte in the 199 having a moment, but Mitchell DeYoung has gotten away. Only 3 laps into his run, with Chris Leone having ran the beginning of the race in that 40 car. Just past halfway, though, so you are going to see a lot of new drivers get in. You're going to see a lot of the driver changes get made for the cars who still are yet to make those.
And joining us here in the broadcast booth is Chris Leon now after a long stint there. Chris, welcome on in. Thank you for joining us here.
Same, and he appears.
Well, tell us kind of how your first stint went there.
Oh man, that was, well, first of all, I can't thank Mitchell enough for jumping in and being willing to do this race with me. It's funny, we were at a Rally X America's test last week in Charlotte, and we didn't have a second day of the test. We condensed everything to one day. So, you know, the way our schedule changed, Mitchell and I we kind of just had a day to hang out, and I just showed him this, and I said, hey, you know, we're running this race on the iRacing broadcast channels next week. Would you be down to run? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And says, you know, I asked him, well, do you want to run with me or somebody else? And he's like, I'll run with you. And I'm like, I am so sorry. But, you know, so the first stint was just kind of, you know, working with, you know, one of the most talented rallycross drivers and sim racers that I've ever known personally, and just trying to learn as much as I could from him, and, you know, mirroring my own experience from the past 5 years of doing this, and just knowing when and how to kind of recover from all the things that happen, as we've kind of got one happening right now with our car. And I saw Mitchell just save it perfectly. We get a little friendly fire, and then, you know, you use the other car to spin back around, and I don't think I did it as gracefully, but we managed to kind of keep ourselves in the overall top 10, and that's really all you can ask for. You know, what I kind of said going in is, if you can have fewer than 3 kind of incidents, spins, wrecks, flips, whatever, then you've had a really good stint. So, I think I was a little more than that, but still not too bad.
Well, talk to us, how did this idea of a multi-class off-road championship occur? Like, I want to know what the planning were to bring up an idea like
well, Yes2 is a league where, you know, in Yes2 Motorsport, the only rule is something's got to be wrong with what it is that we're doing. You know, we're not just going to run up a straight up, you know, Porsche Cup race at Spa or Monza. There are a million different places you can do that. You can run iRacing officials like that and get great competition. You can go to leagues, you know, that do the things that, you know, that mirror the real world. Our job is to bring something different, and most importantly, a little bit of levity to things. You know, sometimes you deal with, you know, people get really competitive. This is still a game. It's still meant to be fun. It's important that it stays fun. And so to us, one of the most fun things that you could do is remix content, really. You know, we'll do stuff where, we'll multi-class all sorts of things. One of the things we've been doing in the league right now is we've been running the Radical SR8s, and we put them in a custom class with the speed factor all the way down to 1. So we have to rear start and carve our way through traffic. And the traffic is all AI cars that aren't very good. So, it's about being fun. But this was one of the first real strong ideas that we stumbled on kind of a few years ago. And the idea was, okay, we don't have desert racing on the sim. A lot of us have done desert racing or have come from that background. The closest thing we could kind of come up with to a desert race, and kind of like a Laughlin Desert Classic sort of thing, is have a short course track, have 3 or 4 different classes, and we've gone through 5 years of this now, and this is kind of the current iteration, and we've had a lot of fun doing these over the past 5 years, and it's something different, right? It's an IMSA sprint format, but with all the off-road vehicles. And so, we have a really good time just doing all this and hanging out. And sometimes we get some esports pros that hang out. Sometimes we get some big real-world names that hang out. Shout out Street Bike Tommy is doing his first one, and that is so cool. If you grew up kind of watching Nitro Circus, you probably saw Tommy hanging out with Travis. Gray Ledbetter's done these before. Banksy has done these before. We've had a lot of different people do these, and it's just a blast. So we do 3 or 4 of them a year, and now it's just so much of the planning is just kind of natural, right? We have the settings, we have the format just super down pat, and sometimes we get to bring in new people, and sometimes we get a really big field, and this is by far the biggest field we've had at Wild West. So again, just really exciting.
You mentioned the Rally X Americas season. You guys were just doing a test. Just talk to the people watching at home tonight about Rally X and Rally X Americas the up season. Yeah,
so the most fun thing, so we're bringing Rallycross back to America through Rallycross, through Rally X Americas, and Andreas Eriksson, if you know Rallycross, you know that name, started Olsberg's MSE, has brought most of the drivers in major professional Rallycross, has had them all in his cars at some point or another, developed the supercar lights that later became the FC2 that makes up our supercar class, developed the FC1 that makes up our hypercar class. And Andreas has been promoting for about a decade in Europe, with Rally X Nordic initially, and then it just became Rally X North and South for the European stuff. Now, when some other series had some issues, we kind of took up the mantle, and we've spent about a year planning, more than a year actually, a stable, kind of sustainable future for this, where we're going to go to Crandon in June, which was an idea that we had that was in part inspired by these races, as a matter of fact. Jim Beaver and I, we kind of brought up the idea to Andreas, and Jim saw Marty Fiolka, who is the promoter at Crandon at King of the Hammers, and Jim got the ball rolling on those conversations, and that put that together. Levi Jones at Eldora has been amazing. The fact that we're bringing Rallycross to Eldora is super cool. And then Dominic Frugère and the whole Grand Prix Trois Rivières team, who just put their tickets on sale for August, which is going to be our points finale. Then we'll be part of the Crandon World Cup in September. And then we have a global final at Montalegre in Portugal in October, where we will go head-to-head with the European Series top drivers. So it's really cool. For a lot of us, a lot of people know me as the GRC person, because I went down with the ship there. I was there for 5 years. Was part of GRC actually bringing that to iRacing, and that's kind of how I got brought into the iRacing fold eventually. So for me, it's a little bit of a homecoming, and obviously have just had so much fun doing that, and we had some really cool open tests over the past couple of months. We had Leah and Micah Block getting cars. We had Shane Van Gisbergen, Austin Cindric, some other people I'm not allowed to tell you about even got in some cars. And, it's really exciting. We're giving it our best shot to really stabilize the sport and be able to grow it and, make it what everybody's wanted it to be for the past 15 years.
Just a follow-up to that. Is there going to be a specific place for people to be able to tune in the Rally X season?
Yeah, so we'll certainly have the Euro Series streaming on the Rally X YouTube. We have some announcements kind of forthcoming on all the Rally X Americas streaming and television, but obviously that's a crucial part of what we're doing, is making sure that we have all that streaming and and TV ability. And certainly I am going to be doing what I used to do back in the GRC days, which is manning as many onboard cameras, action cameras as I can when I'm at those events, and capturing footage that way as well for socials. So that's all going to be really exciting. And certainly I know we're on the main iRacing channels, and I can't thank all of my all the people I answer to at iRacing for kind of being willing to let me do a little bit of moonlighting alongside my day job in marketing and communications at iRacing. You learn a lot, and you do make a lot of connections in the real sport that I'm kind of trying to use to bring back to improve some of the things that I do at my day job. So it's kind of this symbiotic relationship, right? Where, the more you know about what you're simulating, the better you can simulate it. And so, I love learning. I have multiple teachers kind of in my family from growing up, and it's just a really cool opportunity, and something that it's incredibly fun to be a part of.
Now, today is April 3rd, or as known as in especially the Rallycross world, National Ken Block Day. And not only is this race just a really fun overall race, especially broadcasted live on the iRacing official channels, it's also supporting a great cause, the 43 Institute, and you're probably the best person to talk about that.
Yep, hang tight. I am just typing to Mitchell to pit now. I'm sure he's seen it, but yeah, obviously National 4-3 Day. Now, Ken is somebody who I knew and worked with back in the Global Rallycross days. Somebody who a lot of us looked up to, somebody who I have some great stories with that I probably shouldn't tell because we'll be here all night. But, one of the things that people have asked me for doing these Vortex events for a long time is, can we do some sort of charitable element? So this is unofficial. We're not directly affiliated with 43i. I wasn't able to quite work that magic just yet, but we have been soliciting donations from the racers to 43i.org/donate. Please donate if you can. It's to help support those, as they call them, motivated misfits, the people who they really want to do something special with their lives, but they need a little help. Ken was somebody who had a really unique background, working his way up, creating DC Shoes, one of the most influential companies certainly of my childhood, and then becoming, one of the most impressive race car drivers, and I don't take that lightly. Ken was a fantastic race car driver for all of the naysayers. He wasn't just a stunt driver. He wasn't just a Gymkhana driver. Ken would kick your butt in a race, and it was just incredibly special to be able to work with him for a few years. And so having the opportunity to run a race on 4-3 Day, we wanted to solicit some donations. And so we're up to about $350 right now. Cisco Scaramuza, thank you. Bobby Blowers, Wesley Worley, Aaron Smith, Trevor Teal, Zach Amsbacher, Derek Cowling all made donations. I made one as well. Certainly our title partners at iRacing Short Course, Connor Berry, I know they're planning on donating as well. So, if you're able to do that, please do. DM me at Yes2Motorsport if you do. I'm trying to put together a little raffle with some stuff that I have saved from back in my earlier Rallycross days, and some Hot Wheels and stuff. And, I'm going to pick somebody to, get a nice little prize pack there, just for donating. So just make sure you get a screenshot together, and I will send something your way if you're a lucky winner.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us here, and of course putting this event on. Been one of the main people getting this underway. It's been a great time so far. We've enjoyed ourselves in the broadcast booth, and hopefully Mitchell DeYoung can somehow find a way to get you guys the overall win tonight.
Yeah, we have a stacked field in front of us, and you know, the second that I saw Josh and Cam register, you know, I kind of made some jokes, you know, oh, I'm gonna have to make some calls to get a good teammate, and you know, what can you say when you're able to pull in somebody with a record like Mitchell has to be able to run with you? I have learned so much just from tonight, watching him drive and watching him work through things, and you know, it's incredible. It's an incredible opportunity for me, and you know, I can't thank Mitchell enough. I can't thank all these racers enough. We have never had this many teams compete in this event. 32 is a record. The old record was 24, so that's unreal. Can't thank everybody enough. You know, we do stuff like this, you know, Thursdays and Saturdays in the Yes2 Motorsport League. All are welcome. The next one of these isn't going to be until June 11th because we only do 4 of them a year. But you know, we've always got stuff going on, and Yes2Motorsport.com for some more info on not only what we do in the Sim League, but also all the things that I'm doing in the real world. So hope everybody checks it out, and yeah, thank you again to everybody who donated, and please keep donating if you can. 43i.org/donate.
Thank you, Chris, and hopefully we'll be talking to you after this one is all done.
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Chris Leone here tonight, and of course, participant and mates with Mitchell DeYoung. Sky, as we were talking with Chris there, we had some little bit of chaos happening on the racetrack here at Wild West Motorsport Park, as we are about to hit the 30-minute mark here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a car. That was one of the crazier replays I've ever seen, with the car going over the bump and somehow managing to spin entirely end over end into the wall. Matthew Lind has just gone around in the 1-2-3. He was second overall in this race. Had a moment there, made some contact with the John Michael Dunnigan car, and spun that thing out right around through turn 3. Was eventually able to get it back going, though, but major problems for him, major problems for Team Rick, and the first time that we've seen them in big trouble recently.
Well, let's go through a little bit of a recap here of our class leaders here, but of course, as Sky just mentioned, the Team Rick car, a couple of different incidents here, but our overall leader, channel 199, Pimex with Josh Edmondson behind the wheel there, and then in the Pro 4 truck, Lapdogs with Cody Vanderveer, your leader in that class. In the Pro 2 trucks, it's Bennett to win it with Sean Winkler, who is the class leader, currently sitting 17th overall. And then on the Volkswagen Beetle, it's Yellow Vision WG with Aaron Smith II, who we have a lot of expectations for here in this one, as Sky mentioned earlier, and you said he was probably the fastest driver you have ever seen, Sky.
One of the fastest, for sure. Last time I called the league, I think he won every single race he showed up to.
So keep an eye out on him, as he is the class leader in the Volkswagen Beetle. So officially, the Pro 4 trucks have now gone a lap down. And it's
2 laps down now.
2 laps down, yeah. So it's taken nearly 30 minutes to get them a couple of laps down. Of course, looking at overall results in the past, it's about 4 laps that the Pro 4 trucks go down on average. Just again, looking at previous results here. And right now, not really any battles happening out on the racetrack here, as Kieran Liplander is out of the pit. And there is Mitchell DeYoung, who is currently in 4th in the Subaru WRX class. Has a little bit of ground to make up here, as he is currently, it says 2 laps down on my screen to Team Emperor, with Joshua Darnell in 3rd in the Subaru WRX class. So 28 minutes to go in what has been a very, very fun event to call here in the broadcast booth. And a lot of just craziness happening throughout the entire field. Of course, some fun with the Beatles, kind of trying just to stay out of the way. And that's been causing a little bit of havoc, as Joshua Darnell currently in third. And we will look on board here to the 1, 2, 3 of Team Watson Racing with Matthew Lindy in the car now, 9.0 seconds away from our leader, Josh Edmondson, who has been driving, and that team currently, they have just been driving a very calm, cool, and collected race, Sky, and that's just something you will notice in especially endurance racing as a whole, like you see in multiple endurance racing series in real life and on iRacing. But here on the off-road, it's starting to kind of file out a little bit here, but still pit strategy, a big thing to worry about.
Yeah, we get a little bit of the VR look in there for that 272 car of Sean Winkler out in front of that Pro 2 truck field right now. Wild West in VR must be a trip, because this track is bumpy. You got a lot of hills here. I mean, you've seen it all night long. Yeah, I might be sick if I had to run 100 minutes around Wild West in VR. That is a strong driver right there behind the wheel of that 272. And he's doing a pretty good job of it, too, because he's got that car out in the lead of the Pro 2 truck class by a pretty decent gap back to the 5.86 of Joey Herbie. It's more than a lap separating those two cars right now for first and second in that class. So great job for that Pro 2 truck driver, Sean Winkler. Josh Edmondson, by the way, finally gotten in that 48 car. We saw a lot of Cameron Peterson, but on the last stop, Josh Edmondson got behind the wheel of that car. Edmondson, another driver who's a race winner in the iRacing Off-Road World Championship, and he and Cam, as we said it earlier, but they're undefeated in their class in this event. They've won overall twice. They might do it again here tonight, because they are first in their class, first overall, dominating. You'll see a pit stop here now from Edmondson. He's going to stay in the car so he can hit that fair share requirement, but he will come down, take some fuel on that 48 and get it filled back up.
Well, that will promote Matthew Lindy into the lead there in the Subaru WRX. Back to the trucks here with Aaron Bean on your screen now. Bean currently third in class in the Pro 4, 7th overall. And very interesting to hear Chris say that, you know, this is the largest participated race here in the Sierra Nevada 100, and that, very cool. And oh man, that could have been an absolute disaster right there for Aaron Bean. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong screen. I got 3 timing screens up here to try and keep track of what's happening here. Aaron Bean currently 6th in class in the Subaru WRX class, and right now overall as well, sitting 24. So some of the Subarus have fallen way back, and he's trying to navigate through some trucks, makes a little bit of contact here, but navigates nicely through. And that's going to be interesting. You got about 4 or 5 trucks in front of you, and it's not the easiest to get around some of these trucks, especially when they're battling for position there. As you Connor Berry on your screen as well, is sitting 2nd in class in the Pro 4 trucks. And it's not Connor Berry, excuse me, that's in that car. Forgot that they are doing in-person swaps at Drake. So driver Drake in that one. So very interesting to see that. Again, we got to see that driver swap live as somebody goes end over end into the fence, into turn number 4. That's Aaron Bean. Oh no, man. That was a moment right there. Again, flip counter 8.
We've seen a couple cars have some out of this world, almost out of the ballpark flips into turn 4 tonight. That is It's not the first one that we've seen. That 169 of Keenan Kusin has had a couple as well. He's already having problems down into turn 1 too.
Oh man, I mean, he probably could have kept going for a while there, the way that car was flipping forward. So, but Aaron gets that car pointed forward again, and after all that work he did to get by all those trucks, he's now going to have to repass them in just a few moments. So that's kind of the frustration right there. Let's take a look at that replay one more time. Down the back straight, we got a little bit too much air underneath the car, and around he goes.
Yeah, we just saw on the live camera the exact same thing happen. It was deja vu, by the way. I thought I was watching a replay there. I thought we had accidentally put the replay in both boxes. No, that was live. He did the exact same thing again.
Now, when you get too much air underneath the car, it can do exactly that. So
we're going to get the replay of the time he did it again here, too, and you will see it was basically identical. Oh, my God, we got two cars crashed into the pit road entry. Gunnar Olin is stuck in the catch fence down there. He's got that car out now. That was a nasty hit for the 26. He just completely missed pit road and went straight into Aaron Smith.
Well, I guess you just never know what's going to happen at this point. We're almost to the 21-minute to go mark. There's Sean Winkler on your screen. Yes, we are still trying to pull up the replay of Aaron Bean going end over end. Exactly how he did already previously on the lap before. So I guess we're going to have to just wait on that as our producer Christian doing his darndest to get that replay going again. So many things happening here at Wild West Shootout. Our producer, he's definitely getting a good workout tonight, keeping track of everything here, of what's happening and getting it before you folks at home and watching. Here's the replay now. And there he goes. Yep, exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. Actually went a little bit further that time.
It was
apart.
It was literally in sync in like the live picture-in-picture. I thought, oh, we accidentally pulled the replay up twice. No, he just actually did that twice. In sync. Oh my Lord. That's a new one.
That is a brand new one. I have never seen that before. And I've done a lot of broadcasts before. I've done a lot of dirt track oval racing. And never have seen the same crash happen twice, especially when showing the actual replay of the first crash. The second one happening before our very eyes. So, once again, Cody Vanderveer, currently your leader in the Pro 4 trucks, and Matthew Lindy, currently your overall leader in the Subaru WRX class. So, we got 20 minutes to go officially here before the checkered flag drops here at Wild West Motorsport Park. There's Mitchell DeYoung in the Subaru WRX, trying to just get himself forward here. He is a few seconds away from P3, so got a little bit of ways to go. I saw, what was that, 2 seconds, 2.7 seconds to go to get the P3 in class. And of course he is staying within the top 10 overall, currently sitting 6th overall in this one. And it's just been a very fun and amusing race. I hope all you folks at home have been enjoying this one. I know, Sky, you've been enjoying this.
I'm having a great time.
It's not every day that you get to just call a really fun race for a good cause and everything, and that is something we got just appreciate about Yes2 Motorsports bringing such a very fun and entertaining race. Here is Aaron Smith. Let's see what has happened to him. Oh, okay.
Huh.
What's face to face with a truck? All right,
that's a new one.
Just gave it a nice little love tap there and got underway. So Aaron Smith right now sitting P2 in the Volkswagen Beetle Light. class, 9.8 seconds away from Kieran Lifflander. So it has a little bit of ways to go there. Of course, we're going to have at least 1 or 2 more pit stops, I would say, before the checkered flag drops here. Ascension Racing, the Pro 4 trucks. Kyler Clapp on your screen going down the back straightaway. We get an onboard shot of him here, doing his best just to keep this car pointed forward at this point. The sitting 7th in class, just behind Gunnar Olin, who had an issue into pit road. And as we actually get to see an onboard shot of the pit entry, got to make it quick in there, but you got to get that car slowed down to 25 miles per hour. So you go all the way on the throttle, and then you got to get on the binders to get that car woed up and into pit lane safely. Do not want a penalty at this point, Sky, and especially if you are sitting anywhere near the front of the field.
Cody Vanderveer is going to pull down. He is your leader of the Pro 4 truck class, and he will bring that 59 car down into the pit lane. I believe the 4 of Connor Berry still has to make a pit stop. Actually, he pits 7 laps to go. So these 2 cars are going to be decently close out of the pits here between Cody Vanderveer and Connor Berry. We'll see how they come out. We do have a car. I'm not going to question that. Cody Vanderveer is... he's going to come out of the pits ahead of Connor Berry, but he's going to have a lot of work to do to stay in, or Berry's going to have a lot of work to do to catch up to Vanderveer, as John Dayhoff is, he's stuck in a way that I did not know you could get stuck around here. He's doing his best to get it back up onto the racetrack proper. Unfortunately, it does not appear to be working very well for him here at the moment. Cody Vanderveer will get it out of the pits. He'll get it out of the pits about 17 seconds ahead of Connor Berry. So the gap is shrunk significantly from what it was between those top 2 in Pro 4, but Berry is still going to have a long, long climb in front of him at the moment.
He's keeping our eyes on John Dayhoff here.
And he's going to have to tow.
He's going to have to tow that. Oh,
by the way,
man.
Team Watson Racing, Matthew Lynn behind the wheel of that car is caught up to the 48 of Josh Edmondson. There's still a gap. There's not right on each other yet, but it is a 7-second gap there between the only 2 cars on the lead lap. And Watson has pit about 10 laps more recently than Josh Edmondson. So depending on how this works out with time, how this works out with pit strategy, Matthew Lynn for Team Watson could upset that 48 car of Edmondson for the lead of this race, and maybe even the overall win of this race, as there's James Watson around. No relation to Team Watson Motorsports. That is a different Watson.
Kind of struggling to get off at turn 1 there. Finally gets it pointed forward. Away he goes. And speaking of strategy here, Sky, thinking about it, would you maybe want a short pit on your final pit stop here? Maybe come in a couple of laps before, maybe if you're Matthew Lynn right now, would you want to maybe pit before he does to try and maybe pull off the undercut?
We got another car around back there. We got a lot of cars having problems, particularly in that turn 2 area. It's just such a big hairpin, and it's such a big downhill, so everyone just kind of goes straight down into it and gets themselves spun out. I mean, we've seen our fair share of problems there, as this is the 56 Queens design car. Ruby Nikamata behind the wheel of that one right now. And that is also the car being shared by Mia Rose, who represented Red Bull Racing Esports in British F4 Esports last year. So more of a traditional road racing type of car there, but they're trucking it out on dirt, and she's doing pretty well right now.
Well, it's definitely different from an actual F4 car, because there's definitely going to be some dents at the end of that one, of an end of this race. Of course, no damage here at Wild West Motorsport Park, part of the Sierra Nevada 100, and that is definitely needed for a race like this, because some guys are going to have to buff out some dents after this one, maybe to their mental state of being, because of how challenging and how fun it's been as well. It's been a lot of both. And did I just see on our timing tower Christian Noble out? Christian Noble out of this one? What has happened?
Potentially, yes. That was the Boozy Racing 946 car. This does appear to have retired early from this race, so that will be our first retirement here. I can't
hopefully
say if
our
this is
goal.
connected, but there is a big swath of the United States with weather issues right now. So that is a complete guess, and it might be completely wrong, but you never know. That could have affected some of the drivers in this race we've maybe seen have internet issues.
Yeah, for sure. On your screen now, Michael Boyd Jr. of Ascension Racing.
That was actually, sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. That was the case. Christian Noble did drop with internet issues, so don't know.
Oh, okay. That is unfortunate. So, again, with no damage or anything, you know, unless you did have an internet issue or a power issue or a hardware failure, you should be able to make all 100 minutes of this one. So, and Sky, I'm going to re-ask you this question here. Strategy-wise, are you going to maybe try and undercut, maybe if you're, especially if you're Matthew Lynn right now, maybe try and overcut or undercut Josh Edmondson and short pit, do something different strategy-wise?
Yeah, sorry, I got very distracted last time you asked that. I think Matthew Lind has already pulled a little bit of an undercut here because he pit 8 laps ago. Josh Edmondson pit 16 laps ago. So there is a world where this works out that maybe that 48 car has to pit again, and then Matthew Lind potentially doesn't, as you see a wreck down there in that turn 3 area. He's already on the undercut. Oh, and then you see a further wreck down there in the turn 3 area. Yeah, he's on the undercut already. It might work out for him. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that time back, but well, he might get the time back because Josh Edmondson has just lost 3 seconds there, had a major moment in turn 1, got spun out, went around, and now, all of a sudden, that gap looks a lot more reachable, although Matthew Lind has also had a problem. He has also spun out in turn 1, and somehow that has evened it back out as 6 seconds. If we get a view here of, yeah, here you go, of where Matthew Lind is on the racetrack, it is carnage basically all around him right now. So he's just going to have to hope that this 3, maybe 4 wide run up this hill. Oh, he's going to make it 4 wide down here into turn 4. Let's see how this works out for Matthew Lind on the inside of the racetrack. 34 car has to back out. Matthew Lind gets the 4-for-1 there, and he'll get clear off the corner. Doesn't have to worry about that big knot of cars anymore, but he is still 6.8 back of Josh Edmondson in that channel 199 machine at the moment, and Edmondson's having another issue, so we have more problems all around here. And now the gap's down to 3.6 seconds, so Edmondson can't get through turn 1 clean, and it's really helping Matthew Lind.
Well, it's all starting to kick off as we are about to approach 10 minutes to go here. And if you are Matthew Lind, you are wanting to get on that loud pedal as much as you can right now and close the gap. It's now 3 seconds to Josh Edmondson, and let's take a look. Where is Josh Edmondson right now on the racetrack? He is probably near turn 1. You kind of see him in the distance. No, he's pulling into the pits. This might work out for Matthew Lind here as he takes the lead. And Josh Edmondson into the pit lane now with Matthew Lind taking the race lead. The question is, what is the fuel situation in that 1, 2, 3 car? We are officially now past the 10-minute mark. Now less than 10 minutes to go here at the Sierra Nevada 100. Live here on iRacing, produced by Makoni Entertainment. This is going to end spectacularly, I have a feeling. It all comes down to a pit strategy call. Josh Edmondson will come out of the pits now 29 seconds behind Matthew Lind, and he has a lot of work to do here, as our timing tower now fixing itself to 21 seconds here. And you can just see Matthew Lind, he's going to do everything he can to try and extend this gap as much as he can here, Sky. And the overall win is now in the ballot.
Yeah, with only 9 minutes left in this one, it's really going to come down to if Matthew Lind can maybe keep that car out, dodge another pit stop here. He's definitely going to have the advantage. It was 19 laps. Whoa, there's a close moment there with the car going off the track. It was 19 laps between pit stops for that 129 Emperor car with Joshua Darnell now getting into it. They've just come down the pit lane. It was about 19 or 20 laps for the channel 199 car of Josh Edmondson as well. Matthew Lind is 6 laps away from that point, so If he can only go 20 laps here, if that is the fuel window for these Subarus tonight, as I think it is pretty close to being the fuel window for these Subarus tonight, he will have to make another pit stop. And he will likely drop behind that 48 car in the process. Otherwise, he might be good. He's just got to run as fast as he can now while he has this advantage. As we get another car having a big moment down there. That final bump before the corner has caught a lot of cars out tonight.
Yes. Oh, man, it's just a demolition derby down there in turn number 4. And you're right, that bump is catching a lot of guys out. And there's a certain way you kind of have to take it. And the guys have been navigating it perfectly all night long. And that is the, as I heard, the Yes2Motorsport blue team. If I was hearing our producer correctly, he's just collect cars like crazy. And oh boy, there we go. Now he gets it turned around. Finally, again, that was the 102, the Yes2Motorsport 2 team with Aaron Beans. So also was a part of a incident earlier, which he did twice. So now 7 minutes 10 seconds to go here at the Yes2Motorsport's VORTEX Sierra Nevada 100. Sky is currently has a little bit of a technical issue there, so he is also in the pathway of some weather, as some people across the country are dealing with. Here's Bobby Blowers now in the number 34 Pro 4 truck with the Orlando Outlaw Esport. Bobby Blower driving a lonely race at this point. He has a long ways to go to catch up to P9, so 2 laps down to P9 at this point. So he's got a little bit of ways to drive up the field here. And of course, navigating the Volkswagen Beetle. Speaking of the Beetles, here's Aaron Smith in the Yellow Vision VW Light, who is currently doing everything he can to try and bring home a win. And he is only under a second away from Kieran Leftlander. Aaron Kaplinger to move over. It's speedy time, VW Beetle. So I like that team. They move over. It's speed time. Currently sitting 4th in the VW Beetle class. Doing everything he can to maintain that spot. Is 15 seconds away from the next available position in class there. Someone else we haven't talked about too much tonight, the Gotha Esports team in the Pro 4 trucks. David Holdren currently sitting in 4 there, 20 seconds off of P3 in class. You just see these guys in the Beetles are having a good time, but there's David Holdren right now in the Pro 4 truck, number 46 in the Gotha Esports. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. It's Gotha, I think is how we're just gonna go with it. And he is doing everything he can to stay in that 4th spot. So some of these things, they're just a mouthful to say, and trying our best to do as much as we can with some of the knowledge we have about some of these teams. So, but he's currently sitting in P4. To P8 in the Pro 4 class here, the Dirt Team Special with Matt Schluser right now behind the wheel of that one, 4 laps down in overall, 20 seconds away from P7. Just kind of going around the field talking about people we haven't talked about too much tonight. And that, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I would say it's probably a decent thing. If we're not talking about you either haven't wrecked or you're not part of some replays. There is a Ford truck around. Oh, actually on the tire barrier. Who was that? They somehow got that car halfway. That's the 28 machine there. That is the the Ascension Racing Tyler Clapp stuck right there, trying to get some help, and it worked. He got some great help and gets that truck back going again without having to tow. So here apparently he was stuck there for a long time and finally got some help, and he is back underway here. So let's take a look at the replay, exactly what happened. And just got the tire hooked around on the barrier and was then a teeter-tot there for a mile for a while. So wow. And folks, that replay was sped up. So just so you folks know, that replay was sped up. I mean, we're not going to put you through the entirety of that in real time. So I think, Sky, are we back? Are we good?
We are back. I did lose power there for about a couple minutes, but we are back, and there's only 2.5 minutes left to go.
Oh, you're joining in at the right moment here. Matthew Lynn is your overall leader and has dropped, and now it's a 1 second, like a very small gap to Josh Edmondson. And there is our race leader right there. That is Matthew Lynn, who is doing everything he can. 2 minutes to go, 122nd. And it all comes down to this. And you can see everybody, they're trying to make some moves. Any potential moves that they can make to try and maybe gain another spot, they're going to try and do. And oh no, poor Volkswagen Beetle just gets absolutely spun around by a truck. And it was very light contact. That just tells you those trucks are fairly heavy. And when they hit something, they mean business. As now 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. Matthew Lynn, right now your overall race leader. If he has pulled this strategy off, it will be a worldie if he can pull it off here. Because he's got Josh Edmondson. If he pits now, it's over. It is all said and done. As, oh no, a truck goes into the wall. Just got a little bit too out of shape there. Matthew Lynn right now doing everything he can. There's Gunnar Olin. Got an issue just a little bit ago heading into the pits. Got himself sorted. Currently sitting in P6 in class. P12 overall. And it looks like the Grid 1 team now into the pits here with 30 seconds to go. Let's head back out to our race leader of Matthew Lynn.
Upside down in turn 1 here. Bobby Blowers is stuck on the wall upside down in the middle of the racetrack. That could play a role in the final lap for a lot of these cars.
As that clock continues to tick down, 10 seconds. And we will have our checkered flag here at Wild West Motorsport Park in the Sierra Nevada 100. Matthew Lynn makes a bold strategy call. Checkered flag will fly, and your overall winner here tonight, the 123 from Team Watson Racing, Matthew Lynn, gets the win, and a huge win with some bold strategy calls towards the end.
And we mentioned it a couple times this race, but that Channel 199 car who brought it home second was undefeated in class before that race for Josh Edmondson, or undefeated in class all time in this race for Josh Edmondson and Cam Peterson. Undefeated no longer as they lose this one tonight. Lapdog's car of Cody Vanderveer will be your Pro 4 truck winner for this one. It will be the 567 car of Kieran Lifflander, currently driving that one, winning in the Subaru class, or winning, excuse me, back there in that Beetle class, and then in the Pro 2 tonight, Sean Winkler in the 272 gets it done for Bennett to win it there, along with Zach Amsbasher.
What an overall race we have had there. And some guys getting some disqualifications. Derek Cowling in Derek Cowling Racing, Dave Pearson getting disqualified for not meeting the team share or fair share limit there. That's actually all the disqualifications came in the Pro Truck. So no disqualifications to talk about in the Unlimited cars and the Beetles. So your race winner in the Pro 2 truck, Sean Winkler, drove a great race tonight, stayed out of trouble, and only had one bin. So I guess he did bin it to win it. So there we go.
There you go.
We'll talk to our class winners, I think, is the plan. So not been told otherwise. So we'll talk to those guys here in just a moment. And what a race that was, Sky. How would you sum that one up?
That was extremely chaotic, but it was a lot of fun, and I would reckon that pretty much everyone who was out here on the track for this race tonight also had a lot of fun, just by the way you saw these drivers racing, and when we pulled some cars up in the booth, just how excited they were to be here and be running this.
Well, as the burnouts commence, I guess there's only a couple more things to do. We get to talk to our winners here, and of course, congratulate everybody on completing 100 minutes. The most laps that were completed tonight, Team Watson Racing, with 123 laps completed here tonight, which is outstanding. Last year's results, the winners, of course, of Evan McFarland and Matthew Lynn, they completed 118 laps. So some more laps being covered. Actually, this is the highest this has been here at the Sierra Nevada 100. All right, let's take a look at our final results here.
We're going to start with the Subaru class for your final result tonight, and it was Team Watson Racing in the 123 getting that done. Matthew Lind was in the car for the home stretch of that one. He was joined by Zach Blanche right there. 48 channel 199 X Pimax car. Josh Edmondson brought that one across the line in second. Joshua Darnell brought the 129 Emperor car across the line. Mitchell DeYoung brought that 40 across the line for Yes2Motorsport Mint in fourth. Keenan Kusin brought the Team Rick entry down in P5 in the 169. Yes2Motorsport Blue finished P6 in the 102. Aaron Bean finished that car out. And Channel 199X Funhaver finished in last in the Subaru class. The 21 of Trevor Keel was behind the wheel there.
In the Pro 4 trucks, Cody Vanderveer gets the class win there with Aaron Benson in second, David Holderin in third. The number 26 of Gunnar Olin in Mink Motorsports finishes in P4. Michael Boyd Jr. in P5. Matt Schleuser gets the sixth place finish there with Tyler Clapp in seventh. Ruby Nekomata in the eighth spot. Bobby Blowers in ninth, and rounding out the top 10, John Matthews in the Orlando Outlaws Sports Green truck. In 11th, Connor Berry, that's not correct. He did finish two. Just he was disqualified for the fair share deal, but he'll be classified in second there. And Christian Noble, who unfortunately did not finish this one, and will finish in 12.
And then in your Pro 2 trucks, 5 entries. 3 ended up getting disqualified here, but Sean Winkler Bennett to win it in the 272, grabbing the win over Ascension Racing in the 586, and Yes2Motorsport Red in the 294. Derek Cowling, Dave Pearson were disqualified for not meeting the fair share rule tonight. They'll finish 4th and 5th.
And finally, our Volkswagen Beetle class here tonight. Kieran Lifflander in Team Car gets the win in that class. Aaron Smith in the Yellow Vision team in second. Devin Hughes in the JC SimSport car will finish in third. Eric Kaplinger in the Move Over It's Speedy Time finishes in the top 5 in fourth. Matthew Grove in the 555 for Crime Pays But Sim Racing Doesn't will finish fifth. James Watson in the Towers Vortex 26 Beatles Boys finishes 6 laps down tonight in P6. Devin Staunch in the Yes2 Motorsport Teal will finish 7th, and Joshua Pasuki will finish in 8th in the Spin Diesel car. And that is your result here from the 5th annual VORTEX Sierra Nevada 100.
Gonna get cars up in the booth here in just a second. I believe we are. Well, we're gonna get some cars up in the booth here. We're still waiting for a couple drivers to properly join the channels at the moment. Looks like we're waiting on. Yeah, we'll take a quick break just to give everyone a couple minutes to get back up in here, and then we will get you those interviews in just a second. Stay tuned.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Makoni.
With the launch of Makoni Entertainment and Makoni Competizone alongside Makoni Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MakoniSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
First up, it's the 3-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series, take a bow, Drake Mittag. And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Keaton Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish. Her first win in the National Series. Crystal King gets it done.
It's taken a while for Josh Edmondson to crack the victory circle. Winning the war, Drake Mittag, the 2025 iRacing Short Course World Finals champion.
Welcome back here to the 5th annual Sierra Nevada 100 with Yes2Motorsports, and we have just completed 100 minutes around Wild West Motorsport Park right here live on iRacing, produced by Makoni Entertainment. I'm Adam Thompson. Joining me is Sky Shrek. After a long race, finally get to crown some winners, and we have some interviews coming up here, and we'll start off with our overall class winners, Matthew Lind and his teammate here. And Sky, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, we got Matthew Lind, we got Zach Blanche up in the booth with us. How y'all two doing?
Great.
got the overall win tonight. What was the thought behind that kind of final pitch strategy that put y'all over the edge?
Yeah, the pitch strategy was one that we kind of had not one clue about through that entire race. It was just purely save fuel every stop and see what happens. We were hoping to do it with that one less fuel stop, but we were going to fall like 2 or 3 laps short. So the nice little splash and dash was good. We're taking way less fuel was what gave us our time back, so that was really good.
And Matthew, you've now gone back to back in the overall win of this race and what I have here. How does it feel?
It feels great. It's always an absolute blast running this event here, and it's even better when it's for a great cause and with the charity of Ken Block and stuff like that. So it's always an absolute blast running this absolute blast of a race, and just shout out to Chris Leone and everyone who is able to put this thing together.
Adam, you got anything for him?
Just talk about the final 10 minutes there where you're out in front and you had Channel 199 and Pimex right behind you, Joel Edmondson behind the car there, and he was getting really close there towards the end.
Yeah, no, that was, I guess you could say that was the plan, just trying to use our fuel saving to our advantage. Since the start, we were pitting around like 5, maybe 6 or 7 laps later than them from when they pitted. And, it helped us a lot just trying to get one less pit stop at the end to gain all the time that we lost at the start. But yeah, no, those last 10 laps were definitely pretty crazy. Just having to look less in my mirror and more on what's in front of me with the absolute, it's indescribable what you'd see in front of you. There's just a bunch of a huge mess. That's all you could say. But just had to keep it clean and just keep it on all fours, and that's what helped us out massively there.
And Zach, really both of you, 123 laps completed according to my notes. That's the most laps ever completed here at the Sierra Nevada 100. Did it feel like 123 laps?
It did not. I was going to say, as starting the race, I got to kind of that 40-minute mark, and I felt like I only just started. So to be kicked out of the seat when you feel like you've only been in there for 5 minutes, it moves pretty quick when you're dealing with so much traffic and all of that. So it's pretty good to see it move quick. And I lost this race to Matt last year. I was running by myself. I lost to him by only a little bit, so it's good to run with him this year and take the win.
Well, congratulations, you two. You're the overall winners of the 5th annual Sierra Nevada 100.
Thank you. We'll just do a quick shout out to the team. Thanks for all of them for practicing with us and everything they do. And thanks to KES and all of those guys as well.
Big congratulations. And of course, on to the next one, right? Next year, the 6th annual Sierra Nevada 100.
Yes, sir, that's the plan.
Well, thank you guys for joining us here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, and
Our
we are
overall winner.
Yeah, that was your overall winners. We're going to pull up real quick here the Lapdogs team, the winners of the Pro 4 truck class. It is Austin Scheiber and Cody Vanderveer grabbing the overall win, or excuse me, the Pro 4 win, the overall win in the Pro 4 class. How are y'all doing?
Go ahead, Cody. Oh, easy.
We're getting them.
No, yeah, we're freaking stoked on that win. That was freaking sweet. It was just freaking long race. Wow.
Technical difficulties, my bad. Hey, we're stoked.
Y'all are getting into some battles all throughout this race, really. Can you tell me about, especially those first 30 minutes when you were just going back and forth with that 4-car?
Yeah, Connor and I were going back and forth for pretty much the first half of the race, and that was freaking sweet. I'm kind of cool to be up there with Connor. He's super duper fast in our iRacing short course series, and I think he's the points leader, if not right now. So super cool to race with him the whole time.
Yeah, and can you tell us a little bit about that last, I would say, hour of the race where you're just trying to survive lap traffic, trying to keep that car ahead of some of the wrecks that are maybe happening right in front of y'all?
Well, as soon as Schreiber handed me the truck, I already knew just by watching that the track was just completely gone. So I kind of didn't have a plan really other than just try and learn the track as I'm driving. And the lap traffic was insane. I mean, those last 5 minutes were so I was on edge, just trying to not get into anybody, praying nobody gets into me. I mean, everyone's squirrely all over the track. It's just beat up. Tracks are, gone. And yeah, it was an intense last little stint there.
Adam, what you got for him?
Well, the biggest thing for you guys was the battle with Grid 1, and just it was constantly back and forth, and finally you were able to break away. They had a speeding penalty, and you're finally able to get a little bit of breathing space. But were you worried at any point in time that they were going to be coming back at you and just battling with you guys for the rest of the race?
Yeah, pretty much the whole race. As soon as Cody got in the car, every time I would keep track of where they were at the whole time, just because I know they're super fast and they had a chance to come back at us at any moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say they definitely they could have came back at any point. I was watching and telling them to watch the relative as much as I could, and just trying to drive my own race and not worry about them too much.
What in a race like this? What are some of the things that you guys, besides pit strategy, I mean, and some of the lap traffic, what are some of the other challenges that you face throughout the evening?
Like, we got some experience doing the Daytona 24, so we know how things can change super fast. So pretty much our main strategy was just trying to keep it clean the entire race, look ahead, not push the envelope on any passes.
All right. Well, anybody you would like to thank for this class win here tonight?
Yeah, let's definitely thank our team Racecraft, training with, in my opinion, the best guys on any of these dirt trucks. They really help us out. We got next level. Our own little team Lapdogs. We're doing a 24-hour Lemons race in Sonoma in real life, and this is kind of our little pre-prep. We're just trying to do as much driving as we can and endurance type stuff. But also want to thank my wife, and yeah, I'm sure Austin's got some people to thank too.
No, yeah, I just want to thank Racecraft and everybody on the team there helping us out. And, we push each other to get faster all the time and every time we get on the track together. So, yeah, super cool.
Well, congratulations on the class win. Hope we see you again soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we are going to work on pulling up into the booth our next group of cars here. That was the Bin It to Win It drivers of Zach Amspasher and Sean Winkler, and we'll get both of them up in the booth here as the winner of the Pro 2 class. How are y'all doing?
Hey, so good. How are you?
Pretty good. Y'all were able to really dominate that class throughout the race. How'd you get it done?
I have no idea. We started out on upside down for about 30 seconds, and I was just looking at the sky. So, just from there, we just got to battle uphill, and somehow, Sean was keeping me cool there throughout the first stint. We somehow pulled it off.
Would you say that you did, in fact, bin it and win it?
Absolutely. That's the goal every time.
We did bin it and also win it. Yes, 100%.
It's a game, but we don't actually go out and try that. But it does seem to always happen to us. Actually, the last event we did, we were upside down to start and dead last as well. So it just seems to be our thing here. But yeah, we'll take it.
Next year, just full throttle it into turn one. See what happens for y'all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll try that next time. Thanks for the advice.
What is it like when you're trying to just dodge all the other accidents unfolding around you on the racetrack just to keep it in position?
Well, it's funny. We actually talked about it. I was actually probably too patient, and we just got kind of pushed from behind and rolled over. So maybe next time I should run it wide open. I don't know. I try to be patient. And, people, you're always going to get pushed from behind. There's always going to be somebody that's not patient and just going to push the line along, and somebody's going to get squeezed out of the middle there.
Yeah,
Adam, you got any questions?
Have your elbows out and on the gas.
Sean, we were able to see your camera, your webcam. Here in the broadcast booth tonight. It looked like you were just having a great time. Big smiles all around. Just talk about just the event as a whole and how much fun you had there.
Oh yeah, it was a blast out there as always. I mean, I had Zach kind of telling me where people were, but and I'm in VR, right? This Pimax is great. It kind of gives me an edge to look around and I can see some things. But you got crashes happening in front of you. You got guys coming up behind you and slamming you, and they're splitting you 3 wide, and then they're gone, and then you got more people coming, and then you catch up to people. It's nonstop mayhem for 100 minutes. It's insane. It's so fun. So thanks to Leone and Yes2 and everybody for putting this thing on. These are great races to run. They're super fun. I enjoy running all of these, and hopefully we can do another one here in the future. But yeah, I mean, it's a blast out there. And as you can see, I was having a great time. It was super fun, and just trying to keep it on track, make sure we didn't, put it in a K-rail or flip it upside down, just keep it moving forward. And I knew we could get that win, and we did. Yeah, thanks to Zach. He did a great job driving it in the first half, and we got it done. So happy to start off with a win on this one.
Talk about VR on this track. I couldn't imagine being in a VR headset the entire time with how bumpy it is and everything. Do you get any motion sickness from this or no?
No, I've been on VR for probably about 6 years now, so I'm pretty used to it. I've done some 24-hour Daytonas in it, so 3-hour stints in that. I've done a Daytona 500 in it, so that's 3 hours plus. I don't really get motion sickness, and it really does kind of give you a little bit of an edge because you can look around and spot things that you might not be able to see on monitors, and you get that depth perception, so you can line up corners and really just get right on those apexes where you want to put the truck when the track's not blasted and totally blue grooved out. But yeah, the VR is great. It's super fun, and I love the immersion. It's great. All the laser scan trucks, you can look around and see everything. It just adds that next level to it. That's really awesome.
Anybody you would like to thank you to for the class win tonight?
Well, I'd like to thank Zach for getting me back out here and teaming up. It's kind of a last second thing. I want to thank Racecraft Academy and Real Broker and Next Level Racing, and obviously Pimax. Thanks to them for a great headset, and you guys for putting on a broadcast. Can't wait to go on the iRacing stream and watch this one back. I'm sure it was just total mayhem out there. So I'm sure it was a great broadcast, and thanks to all the fans and friends watching. Hopefully we put on a great show for you, and yeah, looking forward to doing this again.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Sean, and it's our 3rd time out here, so 3 wins in a row. We're gonna look to keep that going, and thanks to Chris. These events are super fun, like he said. It's great to come out here and just have multi-class dirt short course racing. It's awesome. So look forward to the next one.
Can't wait.
Well, thank you guys for truly binning it and winning it.
Yeah,
unfortunately, couldn't do it any other way.
Yeah, that's our thing now.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys, and have a good night.
You guys next time. You too.
See ya.
All right, and we are now going to pull into the booth our winners of the Beetle Light class. We've got Indy Kirchenbauer, we've got John Michael Dunnigan, and we also have Kieran Lifflander, your 3-car team, grabbing the win in the Beetles. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Feeling
got
great.
The win. Had to do a little bit of battling, but you ended up in front tonight. How's it feel?
Well, I guess I'll start by saying, yeah, first event, very fun. Definitely gonna be doing some more in the future. Chris Leon posted. We're from NASA. John isn't. He's on the side with the Rallycross officials, but he's
congrats on going to space.
Okay, yeah. He's a part of the service, so we all race together, and he's a teammate of mine on yeah, we just saw the promotion from Chris Leon and just decided, let's just do it. So 3 of us got together. We're some of the fastest B-Light drivers in the world. So just thought, let's just send it. Let's just have some fun. Take some time away from officials just for a couple hours or whatever it is. Didn't have much practice. Just kind of, went and got on track and just started putting a couple laps down. And we were already in the 49s, which is what it was what we were hitting about mid-race. And test at the wrong track time of day, but it was still, the transfer was pretty simple. Just a bit of adjustment, just back up corners because we were running slower times. And yeah, I mean, I've done endurance racing. All 3 of us have. I've done 24 and I guess multi-class racing in that sense. The endurance wasn't that big a deal. It was obviously the multi-class. I've never done dirt road multi-class, so that was pretty hectic, pretty funny. Seeing all the cars flipping and stuff. It was motion roller coasters, not to say the least. So, yeah, I guess you two can take it away. That's my take. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, it was a great event. Super fun to race. Interesting to kind of bring some of my experience from IMSA endurance races with the multi-class over to this, even though it's sort of a different dynamic between the classes, but still was helpful. And I want to shout out Kieran, obviously, running a great team, Solpec Precision Racing, and my parents for making this possible.
Can I ask, what is behind your car name and then also your car paint scheme there with the branding just being car?
Yeah, John, go right ahead, bro.
So me and a friend, we ran this back in 2024 Petite Le Mans on the Porsche 963, and then we brought it to the Production Car Challenge in the end of 2024. Made it to broadcast, and then we ran it again in the Le Mans 24 this year. And we're like, yeah, why not? Because we're not all under KLR. Obviously, Indy and Kieran are, but I come from Solpec because I'm a sports car main technically, but my dirt road item is higher now. So we weren't all in KLR, so we didn't run KLR. So we just wanted a funny team to run. So yeah.
Adam, do you have any questions for him?
Talk about just being in the Volkswagen Beetle class. I mean, it had to be kind of chaotic because you not only had to deal with the trucks, but the Subarus were coming by you. It just seemed like everybody was by you, just going by you like crazy, and you just had to kind of just navigate the rough waters of that and possibly be eaten up by one of the Pro 4 trucks or the Pro 2 truck.
Yeah, it was definitely chaotic. It happened to me a few times where I was getting hit into the corner or landed on off one of the jumps. It was definitely very chaotic to avoid that. There's some times where I just let them go, and with the Pro 2s, it's harder to pass them because they have more straight line speed, but we have more cornering speed. So it was a very interesting dynamic, and yeah, I just want to shout out a few people. I want to shout out everybody running the Dirt Legends SOF slots. We're trying to form them on Thursday nights at 9:45 Eastern. And then I want to shout out P1 Broadcasting and all the races they do over there, which is on Tuesday night, IndyCar and Indy Next Oval Series SOFs. And I want to shout out Kieran for putting this team together and inviting me on. And I'll shout out my other IndyCar things, the Vote of Racing League on Sunday nights for IndyCar stuff. And yeah, I just want to shout out Kieran for having me on KLR and being able to do this event was really cool. It's my first ever Yes2 race, so I had a lot of fun.
I'll make my last bit of input just real quick to kind of wrap this night up. Yeah, definitely we all helped each other right in the 3 stints, and it wasn't well, we noticed, like, obviously with the promotion, the slip that went out, there was a lot of drivers with 2 teams, and there was, I think, a couple drivers with 3. But having more drivers and doing those driver swaps, it's and me and that fair share, it's a bit tough because you have to it'll add more time due to the driver swap. I think it's like 30 seconds. So, and I think it was a couple of the Beetle Light drivers as well as the Super drivers. We all ran into an issue right at the end of it was the last stint, regardless of I think it was a bunch of two team drivers as well. Ran into the issue with fuel mileage at the end. So we did one last driver swap, and I went in for that last stint, ran really well, and we went through like half the stint, and for the little short stint at the end with 8 minutes remaining, and we noticed that we had to pit regardless. We just couldn't save 2 laps. We would have to run like a minute plus second laps, and second was on the same lap as us, and we had a tow. We had an issue on the entry to pit road. But yeah, then we were able to run away with it. Second ended up wrecking. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what happened, but they were in front of us pretty much right at the end of the race, and they were a lap down, so nearly 2 laps down to us. But yeah, it was a really fun night, great night, fast night all around. And then yeah, I'll do shouts as well. Shout out you guys for putting on the show. Yes2, Chris Leone. Shout out to Mitchell for running. Apparently he hasn't been around in many years in an official, or I say official, in a Yes2 race. And it's cool to see him here after meeting him in Rally X. Yeah, everybody at KLR, which is my team. Indy's on it. John is a close friend. in the iRacing Rallycross world, and we've had many battles. So bringing him on for the light, and he's a close competitor. Yeah, just had to build like a really good team up here for this. Obviously, it's just for fun, but we want to win. So shout out to him as well. Shout out to NASA running NASA. It's going to be on Sunday nights streamed for the Volkswagen Lights. And the supercars and contenders Monday nights at 9. The Sunday night races are at 9. Mondays are 8 and 9 p.m. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Really, really happy with this result. It was a lot of fun. Definitely going to come back soon. And yeah, thank you guys for putting on the show again.
Yeah, congrats on the win in the Beetle class tonight. That is Kieran Lifflander, Indy Kirchenbauer, and John Dunnigan.
Appreciate it.
And Adam, that will be the end of us here tonight. How was it? Any final thoughts?
Well, definitely a lot of chaos happening tonight here at Wild West Motorsports Park. Definitely one-of-a-kind event. And it all goes for a good cause, of course. 40 Institute, which you can help put their cause in the Motivated Mischiefs group, getting non-traditional individuals pursuing careers in action sports, motorsports, and the creative arts by heading to 43i.org/donate. So we've had 100 minutes of racing here, and it's been a one-of-a-kind journey tonight at Wild West Motorsport Park. Thank you, Sky, for joining the broadcast, and thank you to Christian as well for being behind all the cameras and working quite a sweat up here tonight with all the action happening around. Sky, any final thoughts from you?
I think we had a great race tonight. I think this was a ton of fun, and I am looking forward to the 6th annual. I might even run it. That looked awesome.
I agree. It looked like a whole lot of fun out there tonight. Lots of smiles, and that's what we were in the booth tonight. Lots of big smiles. And to all you fine folks at home, thank you so much for joining us here at the 5th annual Sierra Nevada 100. And make sure you hit that follow button here on Twitch so you just keep up with everything iRacing related here on the official channel. And thank you to Tony Entertainment as well for the production. My name is Adam Thompson. For Sky Shrek, Christian Hill, and everybody here at Makoni Entertainment, Yes2Motorsports and iRacing, we want to thank you so much for joining us. And we say good night from Wild West Motorsports Park.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Makoni.
With the launch of Makoni Entertainment and Makoni Competizone alongside Makoni Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MakoniSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
First up, it's the 3-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series, Take a Bow, Drake Mittag. And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish. Her first win in the National Series. Crystal King gets it done. It's taken a while for Josh Edmondson to crack the victory circle. Winning the war, Drake Mittag, the 2025 iRacing Short Course World Finals champion.